I've known Chris since I moved to town in about 2008, and Chris is repairman par excellence. I mean, the quality of work that he does gets your horn playing like new, or quite honestly, better than new.
We were in a strange circumstance where I did have to choose. I would give up playing and be a craftsman. I'm a craftsman first. It's where my natural talents lie, and it's where my passion comes from. Hi, I'm Chris Moeller. Welcome to Agave Music. I began to rethink the way I do overhauls and saxophone repairs when I met David Straubinger in Indianapolis at a flute clinic for handmade flutes. I learned at the clinic that every aspect of the instrument affects the way it plays. When I saw how extremely precise handmade flutes were built, I realized how crude saxophones were, even brand new from the factory. Traditionally, in order to tighten key work on overhauls, we swedge the keys, which is squeezing the brass onto the steel rod in order to remove play, and I found this to be grossly inadequate. Instead, I'm going to replace the steel rod completely with a slightly oversized rod and remount the post and keys to match that rod exactly. In addition to really tight key work, it's extremely important that the tone hole surface be really smooth and free of burrs and nicks. This is where the leather meets the brass and creates the seal. So after dozens of overhauls, with now the keys being perfectly tight and the tone holes being very, very smooth, I found that the pad takes a much better seat, and the seal is in the seat. So what kind of saxophone player needs an overhaul like this? I would say first and foremost is the classical player, especially those playing on old Selmers and old Bushers, but even brand new horns could use this overhaul and play much better. Any player that wants to really know what their horn is made of, especially on vintage horns, but even pro horns that are brand new just don't come with the keys fit that tight and don't come with the pad sealing that well. Also players who, things like consistency, leaving their vintage horn for a professional modern horn should very strongly consider an overhaul like this. Things like consistency and being able to play with a really light touch and getting around ergonomically, much of that is improved by fixing the key work on a saxophone and making sure the pads seal correctly.
Hi, I'm Dan Puccio. I'm a professional saxophonist in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been playing for about 31 years now. My father actually owned a music store, and one of the things that we talked about with beginners is making sure that your instrument is in the best possible working condition. And Chris can take care of you from the moment you get your instrument to the moment, hopefully 70, 80 years down the road, when you have to stop playing. All right, well, let's take a look. Oh man. This hasn't looked this good in years. Can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, that wasn't possible before.